to another YouTube edition of Why Do I Care podcast. I got great reception from the Senate version, so now we are going to be breaking down the most competitive districts and what happened in the House. So, what happened in the House? Democrats did lose the House. Essentially, right? Because there still is one, but there's races that haven't been officially counted yet that, like, in our plus 8 was 70%. Like, the Republicans are going to win the House, right? It's almost impossible for the Democrats to hold the House. But the fact that the Democrats were able to keep it so competitive and so close is really, really amazing. If we look here, this is a shift. We're going to come back to this later. But right now, we're basically just going to look at some of the most close, most competitive districts right there. So out of the most competitive districts, the Democrats did win 57 of them, which is it's impressive, right? Like, these are competitive districts. We can see right here that the most competitive districts right here, the Democrats really were able to hold their own, especially in what was expected to be a red wave. In a red wave, it was supposed to be that Republicans win all of these, but then also win almost all of these, and then flip like half of these and maybe some of these, right? The fact that the Democrats are able to do so well here really speaks to how unpopular Donald Trump is as a president, was former president, and how Joe Biden, his version of American government, is different than Trump's, because usually midterm elections are supposed to be like a referendum on the party in power. However, Trump made it about himself in such a way that it no longer became about the party in power. The party not in power it became about. So this is a map I don't really use as much, but we're going to use it for the sole purpose of looking at some of the gerrymandering efforts done in Florida. So if we zoom in, we can see that the gerrymandering here, it's very, very precise. They were able to get almost all of the Democratic districts into places that they gained a seat, right? The Republicans gained a seat, and they thus gerrymandered their district lines so that it is not as competitive as it should be, because that's what gerrymandering does. And then the New York Democrats, they attempted to do the same thing, except it was struck down in courts, which happened. But it really, right here, this is the one. This is probably one of the best examples of how the new district maps hurt the Democrats. Sean Patrick Maloney, he is the DCCC chair. So he is in charge of, like, he's a big deal. He's a big deal Democrat. He's up there, like, in the House, he is very much up there. He's a big, big freaking deal. And he lost. He's an incumbent, and he lost because the district lines were redrawn. And it's things like that cause elections to be won and lost. It shouldn't, in my personal opinion, I don't think it should be that way, but that's how it is. It's the people in power get to choose who votes and when and why, all those type of things. And that's just how it happens. Like we covered in the Senate episode, which if you guys didn't check out, I highly recommend that video. It's a very great video earlier in the week. But the House is also very, very important. Republicans were supposed to win this outright. Republicans were supposed to absolutely demolish. But as we can see, the Democrats were able to keep it competitive in so many places. Some places that are even still counting. California is taking a very long time to count. But they were able to keep it, and they were even able to win multiple races that they really shouldn't have won. If you look at Ohio, that's probably because of J.D. Vance's Senate campaign, which was not run very well. So Tim Ryan was able to really help out, I guess, and push some of the Democrats over the edge, including flipping an incumbent. But the ones that have not been called yet. There are some that have not been called yet. As you can see, there are 9 that have not been called yet. Where do they stand? They stand as close. Like, it's very it's very close. Like, it's from here down, right? You can count it. California 27th, with is like north of LA. California 3rd is like Sierra Nevada. California 22nd, Central Valley. Colorado 3rd, Western Slope, Colorado, and California 13th, Central Valley again, and then Northern Maine. This is like the Maine at-large district. Same with Alaska. The main one, it's like the big part of Maine. If we go back here, it's like Maine. It's the big part of Maine, and then Alaska is going to be all of Alaska. So these are very close, and if it were to end today, they would have a very, very, very slim majority. A very slim majority. And what a slim majority does, it allows for decisions to be forced in which every vote would matter, I guess, right? Like, what we saw in the Senate, every single vote mattered. And what that did is it gave Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema a lot of power. The House usually doesn't have these type of margins, but you are probably going to see some Republicans, I couldn't tell you which ones, probably some of them in the closer districts, who are claiming that they want to vote this way, they want to vote that way, and that is going to give them tremendous power because every vote counts, especially somewhere as close as this. It's a very, very close election. So that being said, this is the end of the video. We can go back to the at large, like the House map, and just to summarize, you can see like there are some races that haven't been called, but almost all of them have been called, right? And you can even see up here, most of them have already been called. And Democrats were able to keep it very, very close, and that should be one of the big takeaways from this midterm. The Democrats were able to keep it close, and they held their own. And that was in large part because of Trump's inability to elect candidates that could push America forward instead of dragging America backward. So that being said, thank you guys so much for checking out this week's or just today's episode. The YouTube channel is a little bit new, so I'm not sure how often we're going to be posting on it, but thank you guys so much for checking it out. And be sure to subscribe, like, share, all that YouTube stuff, comment, all the stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and have a great rest of your day.